back with another video. As a part of my project this year of learning how to do new skills and to focus on knitting some of the projects from different areas that represent my DNA, one of the things I wanted to do this year was to go to yarn fairs. And so I found one local, and it's called the Southern California Yarn Fest or Yarn Fair. It was in Pomona, California. It's about an hour from my house. So I jumped in the car and I registered and I went up there, and it was great. I had a really great time. Um, this was the ad that they had on their website from the fair, and it did live up to exceed my expectations. So I was really happy with it. When I registered for this, I ordered a bag, and this is their little project bag, the front of it, and I really liked that. And I also got this pin as a memento of going that I thought it'd be kind of fun to start collecting those. The really good news is I'm glad I did that because I could not find my receipt. So I showed up there and hopefully my name was on the list and I was able to get in. But I thought, well, worst comes to worst, I'll just have to pay an admission again. But since I did that, since I bought that bag and pin, they did have me on a list, and to prove you couldn't buy that bag and pin unless you had registered. So I was able to get in. It wasn't really a problem. So it was great, off to a good start. So one of the first things I did was walk around and enjoy seeing all the different booths. There was a lot of them. I think they had about 90 vendors, and a lot of people were showing things that were already made. A lot of people wore things that they made, and I did too. I wore a sweater that I had made and received a lot of compliments on that. But I really wanted to find something special to use from the yarn fair to knit something of my own. And I had signed up for a class, and that happened at later in the afternoon. But I went around to a few different places. So let me tell you about the places that I went that I really liked. The first one was the Knitting Lounge, and they're located in Los Angeles. And they had some really nice stuff. I had taken some yarn that I had bought from someone online that I enjoy watching a lot, Camille's Creations. And I got this yarn. Let me take this off. I got this yarn and I've already caked it, but it looks like this, and it's just a beautiful color. But she only had about two skeins of this, and I liked it so much I bought it. And I wanted to match something to it because once you buy hand-dyed yarn, it's very difficult to match things to it. So these people at the Knitting Lounge were just great. She helped me look at some different yarns, and we sat there and went through boxes and found something that I think matches really well. So these two colors I'm going to put together. This gives me a lot of options with what I'm going to make with this. And I haven't really decided yet. It certainly will be a wearable, but I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I just really love these colors together. They're fantastic. Let me turn this around so it looks a little neater. But you can see that it picks up on the blue, and the other stuff I think is going to show. I may do stripes, I may do color work of some sort. I just don't know yet, but I really like that one. So I was glad to have that. The second place that I decided, I went back to this Greenwood yarn works. I went there a lot, and I just kept looking at it and feeling the yarn, and there was just something really special about it. One of the things I really liked about this place is that they had examples of the yarn knitted up, and you could see what it looked like in a sweater. Well, I looked at a lot of different things. That blue one was really great, this blue one up here on the top, and I really liked it. But I tend to go with blue a lot, and I kind of wanted to get out of my comfort zone a bit. So what I did was, I'll show you what I found. I found a sweater, and this sweater was fabulous. And this is the design that was in it. And this is a Ravelry pattern. And if you pick up this card, you can scan it and you can go to the Ravelry site and buy that pattern. And I did that after I got home. Another thing I really loved was on the back of that, it gives you some idea of how much you need of the main color and of the contrast color. And I asked for help. And I just wanted to make sure I was doing it well. And the lady was just so generous with her time, and she helped me pick out the colors and how much I needed so I would have enough. So I bought this. This is the Greenwood. They're hand dyed. They're in Utah, very close to where we have a lot of family. This particular yarn is 75% superwash merino, 15% cashmere, and 10% silk. And it has 420 yards, which is a lot. So I think that that really helps you when you're trying to buy yarn, and you're looking for a sweater. And what I found that the sweaters that I like to make tend to take around 2,000 yards. It just gives you a lot more flexibility on size and what kind of designs. The contrast color I thought was just really beautiful. And so these two things go together and create this lovely pattern that was in a sweater that they had there, and I just loved it. I did start this pattern a little bit. I started knitting it just to see what it would look like, and this is part of that design. It's a low contrast, I would say. This is not gonna be something that really stands out where you have your contrasting colors. It's, a little more muted than that, and I think it's gonna be beautiful. So, the pattern that is pretty easy to follow. I've enjoyed it, and it's working out pretty well. So later in the afternoon, I had signed up for a class on stranded knitting, and it's called a ladderback jacquard style. It's for a stretchy kind of way of carrying your floats on the back of your work. And I started it. I didn't finish this. It just wasn't enough time, but I did start it, and I understand the concept on how to do it. This is what it looks like in the back. These little strands here, these little like ladders, it breaks up the float so that they holds it close to the garment, and it doesn't create a real tightness. So I think it's something that I will use later, and I really enjoyed taking that class. The classes ran about $60 a session. They had lots of different ones. They had some crochet classes, they had some knitting classes, just embroidery classes. There were just a lot of different kinds of things that you could have done, and I this is something I tend to want to use a lot. I've done some color work, and I've enjoyed it. And I kind of came up with my own method based on what I saw on YouTube and that sort of thing. But I thought, I'd like to kind of get some direction from someone that's a little more of an expert than I am. And I was really grateful to take the class. Here's an example of something I made without using the new method, and I was able to pull it off, and I think it turned out pretty good. The floats weren't huge, but I found a way to use the floats and create a sweater for my granddaughter. But I'm really looking forward to using this new technique. So all in all, I was really glad to go. Hope I get to go to some more. I saw that there's one in San Diego County coming up in the spring, so I would like to go to that one and maybe visit a few more in the California area. You never know, I might travel, but at least get to go see some of these different things. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I bought, and keep tuned, and I'll show you how I end up making something, hopefully. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.